Hey, everybody. Welcome to another month of Treasure Talks. I'm so excited that you're here. Can you believe it? We're into 2026. And I am so excited to have my wonderful guest here, Nancy Moore. So many know Nancy, love Nancy. And I'm going to read a little bit about my friend. And I cannot wait to delve into what she's doing. You talk about a world changer. Okay, Nancy is the heart and the voice behind Sharing Passion and Purpose podcast, and I've even been a guest on your podcast. Such a good podcast. You highlight incredible people who've discovered their calling and are using their gifts to make a difference. You have a beautiful way of drawing out stories that inspire all of us to step boldly into our purpose that God has placed inside of us. But before launching your podcast, you spent years in the staffing world helping people find work that truly fit who they are. Connecting people is your superpower. It truly is your superpower. And she is a gift that in every season, she uses that gift in every season of her life. Today, she brings the same warmth, intuition, and insight to her role hosting women's events in the Tulsa community. She's a storyteller, a connector, and someone who believes deeply in the power of purpose. And I'm honored to call you friend, and I'm so honored to have you here. And I can't think of anyone better to have at the beginning of a year and in the Heart Month than you, Nancy. You are just an inspiration. You inspire me. I watch what you're doing, and I'm just like, oh, she's so good. She's so good. Okay, so sweet. I want to jump into your sharing passion and purpose podcast. I want to know what inspired you to start this. Can you tell the audience kind of what it is and what inspired you to get started?
Yes. So I started the podcast in 2020, but the seed was planted in my heart actually way before that. So I was at a job that I didn't like, and I know a lot of people can relate to that. Mm-hmm. And I actually heard the words, "Nancy, we no longer need you." And so I was being let go of that job. I was being basically fired from that job. And it was something where it was a wake-up call for me because it was my first professional, real job out of college, and I would not have left that job. I was 10 and a half months in.
Wow.
And I was miserable. Everybody around me knew I was miserable, but I wasn't a quitter. You know, and I honestly thought, what else am I going to do? Because my background was accounting. So I got a degree in something, and I thought, what else can I do in accounting? And so I after I left that job, I realized I've got to take a beat. I've got to figure out what my next step is. But I knew deep down that it needed to be something that I enjoyed because I was going to work and I was miserable. And that is just not a good way to live life because it just isn't.
So been there before.
And so, yes.
It's awful.
So from that point on, I chose jobs in a career path that have aligned with my strengths, my talents, my gifts, and I have just been so happy. And I have witnessed so many people, especially in the staffing industry, that were not happy with what they were doing. And so I thought, if I can somehow spread awareness about and interview people who are happy about what they're doing. They're sharing their passion and their purpose in order to inspire others. Maybe that would help. So I started it in 2020.
In 2020, during the whole COVID thing.
Yes.
And you are a master connector. And you're so good at getting people together. And how has it evolved in these last 5 years? Because I've seen it just grow and change. And tell me about that.
It's been so surprising to me about how it's grown, because I never would have thought starting a podcast would have grown into what I'm doing. So I've actually started women's events. And
talk about some of those.
Okay, I'll tell you. The women's events that I have started, that was in January of 2024. So starting women's events was something that I didn't anticipate. I love hosting, but I just really didn't have that mindset, I guess,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was just thinking the podcast had all these other things going, but I kept hearing from women. They wanted to meet other people listening to the podcast. They wanted to connect with other women. They wanted to see a live podcast. And so many people kept saying that. And, when you're hearing that over and over, it's like, well, should I do that? And so I have a trusted group of women that there are 4 of us. And I after hearing it, again and again, at a lunch, I said, I'm thinking about hosting a live event. This was in October of 2023.
Wow.
And they said, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. If you're thinking about it, you've got to do it. And they were such cheerleaders for me.
Oh,
and
how
so
we need our
encouraging.
tribe. Thank God for the tribe.
You are right.
You have
You're
to have
right.
a good tribe. And that's so important, even in what I talk about so much, because they helped you do it.
Mm-hmm. I really don't think I would have done it had they not said, how can I help you? You should do it.
Thank God for those people.
Yes.
Okay, so where are they?
So they are every month. They're every month, and they're a variety of places. So people can look for those online. They can find those at nancymoore.co.
nancymoore.co.
C-O.
CO. I want to go so bad because I've watched on social media and I'm like, man, that looks so fun. You even had was it flower arranging one time? That would look so fun.
So I will say Jenny Miller is absolutely incredible. So we were at the Tulsa Garden Center, and her background is architecture, and she was in corporate, and she was really feeling like she wanted to do something else. So it was a conversation. So at these events, it's a conversation. So I will do a live podcast, and then women will be able to network and connect. Or at that, it was arranging flowers. So everybody got to arrange
their flowers.
Yes.
Speaking of her, there's so many stories and women you've interviewed. Are there some stories that have really personally shaped you and inspired you? I know there's always those stories. Can you share one or two?
Yes. I'll tell you, I'm so glad you asked this. And all of them have, Lisa, to some degree or another shaped me, but a couple that stick out.
Yeah.
One is Muriel Farian. Do you know Muriel? She's in the
have
Tulsa
heard of her.
area.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So she is the creator of Strawberry Shortcake and the Care Bears. And she was so inspiring to me to meet, and just talked about how your passion, if you're doing your passion every day, then you really know it's something that you're passionate about. If you can do it over and over and over and you don't get tired of it.
It's not work.
And it's not work. And so she said, that's how you know that's what your passion is. And she just, her life, the life that she has lived and how she's poured into others who are interested in art and how she continues. So she continues with her drawing. She has new drawings all the time that she sells on social media, but she's just such an inspiration, I think.
Oh my goodness. Is she local?
Yes. You've got to talk to her. Yes.
I need to talk to her.
You need to.
Okay. You talk about investing in yourself. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that?
So I think it is so important. People all the time ask me about passion and purpose and how they find their passion, how they find their purpose. And I think it really starts with investing in themselves, in their health, in their mindset, in their faith, in the time, figuring out how they're spending their time, because there's so many ways people can get scattered. And I think I have it's called the Thrive Audit, and we could talk about that, but just a way to kind of hone down and think about, how healthy you are
in every area,
body and spirit in every area. And then once you figure that out, it's easy. I think it's easy to find your passion.
That is so good, because as I'm looking at, we're in the beginning of 2026, and one of the things that 2025 taught me was I need more white spaces on my calendar.
Oh, yes.
And as a server and a giver and a doer, I will give and serve and do till I hit there she goes, and I literally have to have people that I'm accountable to that have my calendar and will say, hey, Lisa, where's the white spots on the calendars? But when I really started to do that and I really started to invest in, I've got to be okay mentally, physically, spiritually. And, you can get compassion fatigue, these caretakers, these, being able to invest in yourself. And I love that. And for people just starting out at the beginning of the year, what would be the number one thing you would pretty much say? How do you invest it? How do you invest in yourself? What do you do that gives you those white spaces on the calendar?
Well, just like you said, creating those white spaces on the calendar. But for me, a game changer has been organizing my time. But it starts with the beginning of the day and even how I set up for the day.
So good.
And my exercise, my time, my time in prayer, just eating well, but all of that goes on my calendar.
On your calendar.
Yes. And so I can make sure to hit all of them.
Right. And learning how to say no because it makes room for the important yeses.
Yes.
And that was a hard one for me. And really learning to invest in myself was a hard one.
Yes.
But it's so important, especially into a new year. Okay, community, care, and connection. That's our tagline at Lisa Bain Ministries. And I love what you do so much, Nancy, because you are all about community. And if you could say something about community and what you do and how passion and purpose all tie together, what would you say? Because I know community is a big one for you.
Yeah. No, yeah.
What would we do without community?
It's huge. It is huge. And surrounding yourself, like you said, with the right people is what it takes, I think, to really step into what you need to do as far as your purpose in your life and the people who are going to surround you and lift you up. Because even when you're doing great work, God's work, it is hard. It's not easy every day.
And don't you find you need to make sure the people in your boat are rowing? They're not drilling holes, or they're just not even sitting there. You've got to find your right tribe. How do you know you have found a right tribe, and how do you find them? Because I've had people come to me and say, well, how do I know how to get a good tribe? How do I know who's good people? What would you say to that?
Yeah. So, and I'm asked the same thing. It's women crave that connection.
They do.
And so at the events that I have been hosting, that is probably my favorite thing is women sitting at the table, meeting each other, and then scheduling coffee or scheduling something after. So I would say, even if you're not in the Tulsa area and you're listening, go to things that you're interested in, even networking events, different women's events, and start talking to people and meeting people, because then you can see who is interested in what you're saying, who you're interested in hearing what they're saying, and you kind of form a connection that way. I think the in-person connections is the best.
Oh, I love that. And some of the people that have talked to me they're like, I just don't want to get out. And I'm like, well, it takes two, though, to have that relationship. And there's someone that needs what you have. And you just instantly know. And it's literally getting out and going to these wonderful things. But you are so right on. We so need connection and we crave it. And, what would we do without community? As you continue empowering women, I want to know, you've got so much going on. What's next for you in this next season? What's coming up?
So I'm excited because in 2025, the last quarter, I formed a group it's called an inner circle. And it was women who wanted to go a little bit deeper, wanted to have different discussions. And so like an accountability group.
Oh, I love that.
And so talking to everybody about what they've got going on and everybody holding each other accountable. And so I'm going to build on that this year. And I just have been so blessed by the women who have been part of it so far.
So is this like a group that people can join?
Yes.
Is this somewhere where they can find out about on your website?
Yep.
That sounds so great, because I really think that we need each other more than ever. And the care, the community, and connection. So one of the wind down questions before I do rapid fire on her is, I have so many people ask me, how do you find your purpose? How do you know your purpose? And I have been one of those in jobs that have been absolutely miserable, and you don't thrive, and it is stressful, and stress drags you down physically. How do you find that purpose and that sweet spot to know that you've got your purpose and passion. You know, when you were stuck in that job, what would you tell someone that's in that place?
Okay, so there's a few things I would say about that. And the first thing is, so purpose, I always say, equals fulfillment. And if you are in a job that you don't like, if you can talk to your supervisor, your boss, about maybe figuring out how you can take a little more time to do things that you do like, it could change the whole trajectory of you in that position. Yep. So I would say don't jump ship in the job that you don't like, because you can find purpose in the work that you're currently doing.
That's good.
And if you have tried and you're unable to, then that's something where you can sit down. I talk to people about journaling, writing down the things that they really enjoy doing, that they know that they enjoy doing. There are other ways too, if people have jobs that they don't love, but they're lucrative and they're making a ton of money and they don't feel like they could leave those jobs. There are volunteer opportunities that provide so much purpose. And so just to kind of think about it in a little bit different way, because you can find purpose every day.
Everywhere.
In
mindset.
what you're doing. Yes.
You know, I talked to one little girl and she goes, I don't have a passion or purpose. I'm a mom of 5 little kids. And I'm like, that's the biggest passion and purpose you could have. And so much of life is seasonal. And I remember being in that season of being the mom, even a single mom. And again, it's just kind of the way that you view it, how you flip the script. You know, and boy, life is so full of seasons, but there's always passion and purpose, and there's always treasure if you look for it, you know. But I love what you said about asking your boss, you know, let me do something that I love and that I can really do good at. Okay, I want to ask you some rapid fire questions because it kind of ties into all of this. Okay, what's one word that describes you right now?
Vibrant.
Yes.
I'll say vibrant.
She's vibrant. That is a good one. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Yay. With lots of cream.
Coffee.
Lots of cream.
Lots of cream. More coffee, cream. Yes. More cream than coffee.
That's me.
My husband's like, is there any coffee in there? And I'm like, no.
No.
Just that coconut creamer that's so bad for you. Okay. What is a book that you think every woman should read?
Oh my gosh. Everything is Negotiable. And the author is local. It's Dr. Meg Myers-Morgan.
Really?
I'm going to have to gift you a book.
Oh, I would love it.
Lisa, it is so good. And she talks about it's life, love, and work, how to get everything that you want because everything is negotiable. And that is a game changer.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Okay. What's a quote that you live by?
Oh, gosh. I would say, create the highest, grandest possible vision for your life because you become what you believe. Oprah Winfrey.
You're so good.
Oprah Winfrey.
Wow. Say that again.
Create the highest, grandest possible vision you can for your life because you become what you believe.
That's great. What's your favorite time of day to create or think?
Early morning.
Oh, see, 100%. That's me. That's me. Early. When it gets past noon, I'm like, huh?
Me too.
I'm like, no, we're done. Bye. What's one thing women should stop apologizing for?
Everything. I'm going to say everything because I have noticed just since I've started conversations with Passion and Purpose, women, when they're in the room, if they are trying to say something, it's always, I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm guilty for that. Skipper's like, do you know how many times you've said I'm sorry? And I'm like, I know. Why do I do that? Yeah, that's good. What's your biggest pet peeve?
People that say they're going to do something and don't do it.
Yes, that is my pet peeve. I was just telling someone said what? I said, when people say they're going to do something and they don't do it. Mm-hmm. That's so good. Mm-hmm. Boy, right on. What instantly brings you joy?
Being with my family.
Oh, I love that. What is a non-negotiable in your life?
My faith. Mm-hmm. And my time I spend every day, even just a little amount in prayer. And it has been a game changer for me.
Oh, that's so good. Something you wish that you would have learned sooner.
Oh my gosh. just to be myself. So God created me on purpose for a purpose, and to not apologize for it and to just embrace it. Because now that I've embraced it, Lisa, it is crazy how things have taken off.
And what is so right in line with that I struggled with was loving myself. Growing up with a low self-esteem, or thinking you're not good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not this enough. And that skews your purpose. And when you can finally accept, and I remember my mom used to say, give God the ugly boxes, because you're seeing them as fears and low self-esteem. God sees, I need Lisa's to love herself, because she's going to have to love a lot of people. I mean, I had a fear of speaking in public. And, but when you can truly learn to love who you are and accept who you are, it's so easy to find your purpose and your passion. And it so goes right along there. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm telling you, you are just touching so many lives, and the women in our community need you and need those groups. And as we end, what is one thing you would share with someone that, a lot of people that I've spoken with coming into the new year, there's a lot of depression. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of people who just feel like they're trying to dig themselves out of a black hole. What would you say to the women who might be in that black hole right now to give them a little bit of encouragement?
There is hope out there. You can find your people. You have to just, I think, be diligent in looking and reaching out. And I mean, life is absolutely incredible. We're given this one chance, this one life. And so don't waste it. Don't waste it.
Sometimes it's baby steps, Oh, boy, I tell you, my mom used to say, serve, step out, see miracles. And I remember someone saying, but she had it backwards. It's step out and serve. And I said, no, sometimes you're too broken to step out. You're too sad. You need to serve right where you are. Little baby steps. And then pretty soon you step out. And then when you step out, then you get to see the other side of the miracles. So I'm so thankful you're here. I want to close in prayer, and I just want to bless what you're doing. And I'm so glad I'm your friend.
Thank you.
You're such a good person, Nancy.
Sweet. Likewise, I appreciate this so much. This is awesome.
I just love you. Lord, I just pray for my friend, and I pray for the people out there, Lord, as we are into 2026, and there's a lot of people out there that are struggling, that are like, what is my passion? What is my purpose? Father, I pray that you would help them see light. I pray that you would help them see encouragement. Lord, I pray that they would get plugged into groups like Nancy's, that they would find their tribe, that they would be able to link arms with people that truly are cheering them on and connecting them in the right places. Father, thank you that you really are the foundation for passion and purpose. And bless Nancy, bless everything that she's doing, and bless 2026, Jesus. It's your year, and we're expecting great things. In your name, amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I love you, Nancy.
I love you too, Lisa.
And you guys, thank you for joining us every month and being here. It means so much. I'm excited for 2026 and what's ahead. And you can see all of our episodes at lisabain.com. Make sure you go to the YouTube link, ding the little bell, and subscribe so you can pick up all of the past Treasure Talks. And here's to another great month and an amazing 2026. And we'll see you next month.